In the past few weeks, we've been given tips on how to avoid scams and avoid being ripped off by professionals too. Today, as usual, Darren Farwell of the Farwell Group joins us to further educate us on how to deal with our finances. Good morning, Darren.
Good morning, Marilyn. Look, you know what? Over the last few weeks, it seems like I've had some, not all positive stuff to talk about in terms of people getting ripped off. But today I wanted to take a little bit of a different tact. I had a very interesting and enlightening story. You know, families don't always get, good press. When we see, on TV and often in the news, we see a lot about dysfunctional families. But when a family does actually pull together, it can be quite powerful. When Eddie, who's one of the wealth managers on our teams, the senior wealth manager, he has two clients, Harry and his wife, Bernadette. They've been clients of Eddie's for 17 years now. Well, in the fall of 2019, Eddie began to notice some clear changes in Harry's behavior. At first, the kind of changes you could only sort of pick up if you knew a person well. In fact, one of the more subtle advantages of working with a professional financial advisor is that your advisor should indeed get to know you well, very well, in fact, so they can help out in circumstances like we're going to discuss today. Harry, who will turn 83 this year, began to call Eddie a lot, like a few times a week, which is fine, but not at all consistent with his past behavior. And what particularly worried Eddie is that he would call about the same thing only a few days later. And it often revolved around an unfounded fear of running out of money. I mean, Harry and his wife, Bernadette, had always been very prudent savers and spenders. They had lots of money. Furthermore, Bernadette, his wife, always had a very good handle on their overall budget and finances, and there was no way she was going to sit by while things were going sideways. So just kind of from an overall, what Eddie sensed was that Harry was getting sort of sleepless type worried and forgetful. So Eddie decided to call Harry's wife, Bernadette, about something or other. It was kind of a pretense to talk to Bernadette about their joint investment account. And during the call, he asked Bernadette if she had noticed anything. As it turns out, she sure had. So good news, Harry and Bernadette have a very constructive, caring relationship with their two children, adult children who live nearby in the GTA. So Eddie suggested a family meeting, which he would attend with Harry and Bernadette and the two kids to discuss the family plan. He gave Harry some, the idea is to give Harry some support and, kind of get everyone on the same page, helping each other out. The will was already set. The two children were going to be executors of the will and equal beneficiaries with the charity. So there was no discussion about the will. It was more about how to make it all happen. During the meeting, Harry did ask some good questions. He asked questions about how he and Bernadette could stay at home for as long as possible. He wanted to know how to simplify the process for the two kids, the beneficiaries, how to make that as easy and tax efficient as possible, and how to ensure that Bernadette was going to be looked after if he happened to pass away first. So this was all discussed with Harry and Bernadette and the kids in the room. Eddie also suggested, since they were all together at the same time, to update their powers of attorney for financial assets and health, which they did. Eddie also suggested an important solution to Harry's questions and something that would be helpful for Bernadette and the children, and it was to complete what we call our financial inventory. And the financial inventory is meant to simplify the process of being an executor, of helping your beneficiaries manage the estate, because it provides in one place a comprehensive list of all assets, all your passwords for different types of applications, your insurance details, the contact details for financial planner, for lawyer, for accountant. It's all in one place. So as it turns out, the family meeting with Eddie and the family took about 2 hours. They had done it at a local bank branch way back. Seems like an awful long way back, early in January. And, of course, not all family meetings will go quite as smoothly as that one. In fact, for some families, that wouldn't even work. There's other strategies for that case, but it doesn't mean that the idea of getting the family on the same page in regards to future planning isn't a good idea. But for Harry and Bernadette, getting the support, help, and understanding with their kids was a big relief for everyone involved. So, yeah, we hear a lot about how families don't work, but there are far more families that have each other's backs. And when we can get everyone on the same page, working on the same goals, it can take away worry and leave room for a little more happiness and relaxation for the parents. And having a professional advisor on your team to help your family can be a powerful advantage.
So if someone wants to talk to you or any of your team about all of this and maybe get that complete financial inventory document, how do we reach you?
Yeah, we'd be very happy to share the financial inventory document. We will share that with you if you just want to send us an email, the Farwell Group, or feel free to call. Well, happy to take a call anytime. Or if someone wants to know a little bit more about how a family meeting could work for their specific situation, also more than happy to speak about that, Marilyn.
So 416-863-7501. Call if you want to talk about having a family meeting or just about putting your finances in order and getting your complete financial inventory so you can do it. Thank you, Darren. I look forward to speaking to you next week.